Moving objects, also known as an animation. So the idea behind this is you draw yourself an object. So we have ourselves a person, and then we move that person across the screen. And if we continually erase the old one, it'll look like our person is just sliding across the screen. It's very much like the flip books that you used to see as a kid, where there'd be a book with an image in the top right-hand corner, and you just flip the pages and it would go from one picture to another. That's what we're doing. So the code starts exactly the same way you did when you were drawing a picture. You import Pygame, initialize the screen. This is new. We're adding a clock. If we have 30 frames per second, our brains are going to interpret those different frames as movement. You create a clock, and that gets the clock working. Set your colors up just like you did before. This is new. Decide where you want your object to start, and you can also put in a direction for where it'll move. So our object is going to start at 10, 100. So very far over on the left-hand side of the screen. Now we're going to add a loop so the screen stays visible. That's all this stuff up here. And what else is in here? I'm filling the screen with white. I'm drawing a black circle that has X and Y values that allows them to change. If the direction is right, we're going to add 5. So when we started with an X value here, and we add 5, it'll just keep sliding across. So the object is going to move to the right. This is the normal code we have for keeping the screen visible. And because we continually fill the screen with white, every time we come to the top of the loop, we erase the screen, draw the new one. Erase the screen, draw the new one. Erase the screen, draw the new one, and it'll look like it's animating. Another new line of code for us. This activates the clock. So that will slow your program down. If you forget this line, you'll find your object will just race across the screen and you don't see much of anything. Okay, what does this look like? So we're going to put all of that code that we just wrote down in here. When we run it, what happens? It's just running. Give me a second and I'll pull it over so you can see it. Here it is. Mine just raced across the screen. So my FPS clock, notice it's not indented properly. Got to make sure it lines up with Pygame. You might have the same problem. So mine raced across so fast you didn't see it. Let's try it again. I'm just saving over here, and our program is starting to run. Just wait a second. Wait a few seconds. And here is my code. So I've got a black circle, and it just moves across the screen. Okay, hold on. How did that happen? So what we did again, we're painting the screen white, and every time it runs, it just goes 5 further over, draws it in a new location, and keeps going. Whoa, how cool is that? Okay, what's your job? I would start with all the code I just gave you. And then, here's what you're going to add to your code. We're going to put some code in here to move it in 2 directions. So if your circle moves in 1 direction, I will give you 1 mark. So right now the circle moved in 1 direction. I gave you that code. It's a nice gift. Went all the way over here, 1 mark for that. If you want a second mark, what you want to do is say if your X value is bigger than something, and you get to decide what that something is, then we're going to change our direction to a different direction. Do you want to go left? Do you want to go up? Do you want to go down? You decide. So direction equals whatever your decision is. Sorry, just do 1 of those. Okay, if we do 2, make sure they match. So you decide what goes in here. So once we get to a certain value, and you decide that, we're going to change direction. We might go up, we might go down, we might go diagonally, we might go back the way we came. Then what you do, look at what we did here. How did we move our object? And using your new direction, move your object a different way. So if your direction equals whatever you decided your new direction was, up, down, left, diagonal. So if it is equal to this new direction, make it move however you want. X equals x plus 5 moves it to the right. What would move it back? What would move it up? What would move it down? So that assignment, 8A, take the code that I give you, make your circle move in 2 directions, and that will give you 2 marks. I'm going to give you a different video for 8B, so look for that next.